All right. I just want to say good morning before it tells me that it's live, because every time I watch the recording, it says, I can see myself getting ready, and I didn't have the little go live thing. So I think that I actually go live before it tells me that I go live. So I don't know what to do about that. But good morning, everybody, and happy Friday. I am so delighted to be with you here today for our weekly live stream. And I am anxious to get started on time today. You guys know that I always have like a big long intro. We always talk for a really long time, and it seems to last forever. But today at 12 o'clock Eastern Time, Hector Garcia is having a very special conversation, and I meant, if you guys are following me on LinkedIn, I think I mentioned it there. I can't remember whether I mentioned it in the group, but that's going to be at 12 o'clock. So if you guys want to catch that live so that you can ask questions, I'm going to try really hard to end on time today. Joel, if you could go ahead and put that link, that Zoom link in the, it's not a Zoom link, it's like a Zoom invitation where you can sign up if you want to join Hector's thing live. If you don't join it live, you can still watch the recordings, and the link that he's going to put in the chat, which I haven't seen yet, but the link that he's going to put in there is also has the links to the recordings. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Yes, there it is. Thank you, Joel. Hector Garcia's Influential Conversations. The reason that this is so important today is because he is interviewing Phil, what's his last name? James Jones. I can't remember. If you click on the link, then you'll see he's interviewing the author of Exactly What to Say, which is a sales and marketing book that his brother, Carlos Garcia, is heavily involved with. And so they're going to be talking on this conversation at noon. And then Hector's conference, which is in October, which I will be at, they're going to be talking about that also. Hector is doing this thing called Reframe. It's all about changing the conversation about accounting, because accounting is changing. The world of accounting is changing. And so it's important that you guys learn how to, how to change the conversation. Okay. So again, for those of you who are just joining him, I'm going to try really hard to get done on time, so that those of you who want to be a part of that today, then you can. And if you leave early, that's fine. If you guys have been around a lot, you know that the beginning is always the same, the end is always the same. So if you have to cut out on the ending, that's fine too. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Hello, my name is Margie Remmers-Davis, and I am the creator of Fast and Easy QBO. And this is our weekly live stream that we hold every Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern inside of our Facebook group called the QBO Gym Locker Room. So if you are watching this live right now, you are already part of the locker room. Woohoo! We're so glad to have you. If, on the other hand, you are watching the recording of this on YouTube, then there will be a link down below to join our locker room. And here's what you get as a member of the locker room. So as a member of the locker room, you get a free Getting Started course. So this course is going to take you all the way from how to get your free QuickBooks Online accountant account, the terminology and workflows, and how to actually navigate the software. We're also going to give you some hands-on exercises so you can learn how to do some basic things in QuickBooks Online. If you're in the locker room, you haven't accessed your Getting Started course, you don't know where it is, we sent you an email with all of the information, so make sure that you're getting our emails. If you still can't find it, then go to or email support@fastandeasyqbo.com, and we'll help you find it. So everyone who joins the locker room, we automatically set you up, gave you this course, and we want to make sure that if you need it, if you're already familiar with QBO, you don't need it. But if you need it, we want to make sure that you have access to it. Also, as part of the locker room, you have access to over 100 free hands-on exercises. This is what we do in the locker room. We are all about hands-on practice, like actually doing the thing, actually doing QuickBooks Online. We believe that practice makes profit. So people are always asking me how to find the exercises, and they are located in the featured section of the group. So you should have a tile here that says featured. There's a featured tab here. If you're on your phone, you might have to click the little hamburger up in the upper left-hand corner. But it is pinned in the featured section. There is this welcome to the locker room. This was also emailed to you when you joined the locker room. So again, if you're not getting our emails, we want to understand why. If you're, bouncing, or you accidentally gave us the wrong email address or something, we want to make sure that that gets corrected. So this welcome to the locker room with everything you need to know, how to get your course and how to access the exercises and all that good stuff, you want to make sure and look for that. So inside there's a link to the 100 free exercises. Also, you get a free exercise of the week that you get that if you attend our live stream live. So as I mentioned, it is Fridays at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. If you join us live, then we will send you the free exercise of the week. The exercise of the week is part of our product or our course called the QBO Gym. So the Facebook group is the locker room. This is the course, the paid course called the QBO Gym. And the QBO Gym is, Joel will put in the chat here for a second, it's like a flight simulator for bookkeepers. What we heard so much is we heard people saying, okay, I got certified, but I don't actually know what I'm doing. Or people said, how do I get experience actually being a bookkeeper? They want to get a job or they want to land a client, but they still feel like they don't actually know what they're doing, or they don't actually know what it's like to be a bookkeeper. And so that's how the QBO Gym was born. And you get a full year of working with a fictitious business owner from start to finish every month, and you work through actually what it would be like to be his bookkeeper. Once you have, all of the work that you do in the QBO Gym flows through into your dashboard, which is called Booksmatch. Now, Booksmatch is the dashboard that everybody uses, that no matter whether you have the gym or not, if you have to access your Getting Started course or any other courses that you have with us, you'll go through the Booksmatch dashboard, but you'll only see statistics if you are actually in the QBO Gym. So this is what your statistics look like. Everything that you do in the gym, we track the skill that you verified by doing that particular exercise. And so we have hundreds of skills that we're tracking. The skills are divided into skill groups. You can click on any skill group and see, clicked the wrong thing, and see the details, dive into further details of what exactly you've learned. You can see how you compare to everybody else that is active in the gym. And then we track three very important metrics. So we're tracking number one, your knowledge, which is the breadth of skills that you have practiced and verified and learned in QuickBooks Online. Okay, so knowledge is wide. Then we're also tracking consistency, and I'll explain why in just a minute. But that your consistency is we want to know that you are doing an exercise at least every other week. So every 14 days, we want you to be doing an exercise. And so some people have been in for a really long time. Charlotte here has 353 skills verified. Like she's, been around a lot. She's done a lot. And so eventually, oh, sorry, I keep doing that. So eventually, like she's going to run out of stuff to do. And so that's why we have the exercise of the week, is so that people who have done all of the work have an extra thing that they can do to keep their consistency high. Okay. But the benefit of you being in the locker room is, we're going to go over this exercise of the week. You can get it for free. You don't have to be a member of the gym in order to get it. Okay, then the third metric that we are tracking is your speed. And the reason that we're tracking your speed is because, like I mentioned, Charlotte here, she's been around a really long time, and it's not it's not fair for somebody who's brand new, who doesn't have a lot of, who doesn't have a lot of knowledge yet. It's really not fair to compare this brand new person to somebody like Charlotte, who's been around for a really long time. And so that's why we track speed. The speed is not how fast you work through the exercises. It's how many skills you accumulate in just a week's period of time. So knowledge is all time, and speed is just within 7 days. So and then we use these three metrics to give you a rank. And Charlotte here, because she's high in all of these, is marked as an exceptional talent. Why is this important? Because another one of the benefits of Booksmatch is you have an opportunity to show off your skills to recruiters, people who are looking for bookkeepers. So on yours, I shouldn't have closed this quite yet. On yours, you have a little button that says open to work. And if you turn that on, like Charlotte has here, then you're going to be listed in what is this talent finder. There is no additional charge for this. This is just part of being in the gym, is that you get to show off your skills and be listed in Booksmatch. Okay, so if you have high all across the board, you'll be marked as exceptional talent. But exceptional talent is a very fluid thing. You don't stay at exceptional talent very often, because your speed will necessarily, if you have high knowledge, your speed will necessarily go down. And so this is like short-lived that you're on exceptional talent. But then we have top talent, which is if your speed is low and everything else is high, then you're still considered top talent. And you're considered rising talent if it's the opposite of that. So even if your knowledge is low or average, then you're still considered rising talent, because that means that you're new, but you're kicking butt. Okay, so, and we explain all of this to the recruiters and the people who are, looking at you. Okay, so that is Booksmatch. That's why we have the exercise of the week. All right, so the exercise of the week is a separate course from the QBO Gym. It is unlocked once you have earned 250 points in the gym. As you're working through the gym, everything is gamified. So as you work on things, you earn points. And those points will show up kind of in this drawer down here if you ever want to check it out. And once you have accumulated 250 points, then the exercise of the week unlocks. Why don't we just give it to everyone in the beginning? Because the whole reason why we have an exercise of the week is for when you run out of stuff to do, you still have at least one exercise to do in order to keep your consistency high. The consistency is the most important metric in Booksmatch, okay? So that's why we have the exercise of the week, and that's why we don't unlock it until you have 250 points. Why do we unlock it at all until you're done? Because so many people asked for it, and so that's what we did. All right, so so we are having a little bit of a technical issue with our exercise of the week, because every time we add an exercise of the week, it adds to this, big list. Now, when you do it yourselves, they disappear, and if you want to see them again, you have to go to past exercises. But for us, like as admins, they're just all there, and Experientify, which hosts this for us, this is their platform, is having trouble with us having so many of them. And so last week, to get around this, we just had last week's exercise here at the bottom. And this week we couldn't even add the bottom. Oh, actually, it's there, but we need to get rid of that. I don't know if John is on the call right now, but we tried to add it and we couldn't, so ignore this one right here. The actual one, if you guys are in Booksmatch, the actual one that we're using is this one right here, exercise of the week, August 9th. By next week, we will have a better solution. So either Experientify is going to fix this for us, or we're going to reorganize the exercise of the week, but we're not going to hobble around last week like we did, like we are doing today. Okay, so here is the exercise that we are going to go over today. Now, we are also having a problem, which we thought was related, but is not actually related. And that is we're having a trouble adding links. And so, so we had to put in, so it's not clickable. It's not, and this is just for today. This will get fixed, but for today it's not clickable, and so you have to copy and paste it. As a reminder, for those of you who have the gym and have Booksmatch and the exercise of the week, in order to get credit for it, you have to use the link that is inside here. Don't use the link that Joel put in the chat. Okay, so make sure that you are using the link if you want the Booksmatch credit. If you're not a member of the gym and you just are walking through it today, then that's fine. Use the link that Joel has put in the chat. Okay, so we're going to copy and paste this. And this is going to be our exercise today. Okay, so today we are going to be talking about locations. All right, and I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a minute because sometimes I have to tell you something really important and I want you to see my big face. I don't want you to see, I don't want to give this speech while I'm a little tiny box on the screen. Okay, locations is one of the topics that so many people get confused about. This is one of the most confusing topics to people as they are studying for the advanced certification. Now, I should have mentioned earlier, the exercise we're doing today is more advanced. Okay, this is, and I'll talk about it more in just a second, but this comes from this is a topic that's covered on the advanced certification exam, and the idea of it is a little bit more advanced. If you're new, then you can still listen, you can still follow along, but if you get lost or it's not making sense to you, I don't want you to freak out. Okay, it will come. We were all new, we all learned this at one point, so So yeah, so don't worry about it. This is more of an advanced topic, and it's a thing that people like get stuck on in their brains, okay? And there's a couple reasons why people get stuck. Number one is when you say locations, you have to think to yourself, are we talking about your client's locations or your client's customers' locations? Okay, so your client would be the business that you are doing bookkeeping for. Okay, so for a sample company, our client is Craig, and he owns Craig's Design and Landscaping. Okay, so that's the client, and your client could have multiple locations. Okay, but then your client's customers could also have multiple locations. Okay, so Craig mows the lawn for, maybe a business, and they have an office building here and they have an office building there. Okay, so that would be Craig's customers' locations. But then Craig himself, maybe like his business grew so fast that now he's like got a business on, his main location, but now he's opening up one in another town. Okay, that's also a location. So people get these concepts confused, and I'm just going to warn you right now that the way Intuit has designed this particular exercise, it's going to be even more confusing. Okay, but here's what I want you to, like, if you're taking notes, if you're like keeping track of this, here's what I want you to remember. When we use the term locations, this is what we're talking about today, is we're talking about your client's locations. Okay, so we're talking about Craig himself, if he had 2 different offices. Okay, that's what when they say locations, typically that's what we're talking about. When we're talking about Craig's customers' locations, the terminology there is typically a sub-customer. Okay, so you would have your main location, and then you have a sub-location, that's a sub-customer, and that is a different conversation than what we're talking about today. Okay, so what we're talking about today in this exercise is only Craig's locations. Okay, all right, it's very important that you keep that in mind. All right, I'm going to go back to my screen share. We're going to talk this through. Okay, so this exercise is a ProAdvisor challenge. Now, ProAdvisor challenges they're written by Intuit. They're provided inside your QuickBooks Online accountant account. We have spent the first half of this year going through all of these ProAdvisor walking through all of these ProAdvisor challenges. I thought we were going to be done by the end of this month, but I think actually it's going to be the first Friday in September is going to be the last one. And then, oh my gosh, then the gates will be open, and I am so excited about what we're going to be doing after the ProAdvisor challenges are done. I cannot wait. Okay, but I do like, it's very important to me that we get all of these ProAdvisor challenges covered. Okay, so so this is a ProAdvisor challenge. So that means it's inside your QuickBooks Online accountant account. Okay, so here I am in an accountant account. You know that you're in an accountant account because it says accountant up in the upper left-hand corner, because this left navigation bar is gray, and because it's divided into your practice. These are the clients that you serve. That's the thing about an accountant account, is that it connects you to the clients that you're going to be working with. And then it also has an opportunity for you to do your own books inside there. Okay, so that's how you know that you're in an accountant account. All right, so you're going to go to ProAdvisor and then training. and then the training library. And you'll notice that there is product training first. So if I close this, there's lots of products that they train on. There's also other training inside. We're going into the QuickBooks Online training. If I go back to the exercise, it tells you this is where you find it. This is where we just were. Okay, so we clicked on QuickBooks Online, and then we're going to go to the reports tile. That's what we're talking about. Why is this under reports? I don't know. I mean, I guess it makes, I don't know. I guess, I guess that is the thing, is you have locations, and then you, that you then can run reports on them. But the exercise doesn't go into reports, reports for it. It just talks about it. Okay. So anyway, so now we're going to go into reports. Okay. And you'll notice that inside here, there are these 3 sections, okay? Beginner, intermediate, and advanced. The intermediate skills, all of these topics are the ones that are covered on the Pro Advisor certification, that basic level certification. You know that because of this little icon. If you hover over it, it says tested in the QuickBooks Online exam, okay? If you go to advanced skills, okay, then you hover over it. It says tested in the advanced QuickBooks Online exam. Okay, so that's where we are. So we went to the advanced skills, and now we're going to click on the location tracking here. So we've got class tracking and location tracking. And then if you scroll on the side, you can see that there is a Pro Advisor challenge right here. We're not going to go through this in the interest of time, but anyway, this is where you find the Pro Advisor challenges if you ever want to go back to them. Okay, now so we're going to go back. We like our format for the exercises better than the Pro Advisor, so that's why we do this, and we're going to create these. We're going to start all of the exercises, not all of them, most of them, start in the sample company. So I'm going to load up the sample company right here. If you don't know how to do this, of course, the Getting Started course teaches you how to access your sample company. One quick word, remember when you load up the sample company, it logs you out of your account. It's the sample company or your account. So this is really important if you're taking the test. The test is open book, and you can have the sample company open, but if you do that, you will lose your progress on the test. So don't do that. So we'll teach you, if you're in our courses, we'll teach you how to have both open at the same time, but if you're doing the test, don't do what I just did and load up the sample company. Okay. So here I am. So I've got my sample company loaded. I'm going to go back to my exercise. Let's go back and talk about the scenario of what we're doing in this particular exercise. Okay. And here's the first piece of confusion. Okay. It's like, I don't know why. I don't know. Sometimes I just like, why did Intuit do this? All right, let's get into it. Okay, so here's the scenario. Craig has mainly been providing gardening services for private customers, but he's recently hired some additional landscapers to work on corporate landscapes. He wants to be able to compare the profitability of both branches of his operation. So far, his new team has completed a few projects. What should you do? Okay, so, oh gosh, Intuit. All right, this is their exercise in their thing. I'm curious to know in the chat if anybody has picked up on what the problem is here. Like, just from the scenario, can you pick up what the problem is with this exercise? Okay. There's always a little delay, so I don't know. You guys might be putting in the chat. I don't know. Yeah. So Ilma says that she has the same problem with Scribe. I don't know. Ashley, ding, dun, 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 dun. Yes, you won. You won the prize. What is this? All right. Yes, this is a scenario in which you would use classes, not location, not locations. What the heck into it? All right. So this is one of the decisions as a bookkeeper that you have to help your client decide is should you use classes or locations, or in some cases tags, because they're very similar. I don't recommend tags because the reporting is on it is not good. They have not beefed up reporting on tags. But for for classes and locations, all right. We're gonna go through the exercise, and I'm gonna point out why maybe. I'm going to point out when you use classes versus locations, and I'm also going to point out why maybe they chose this, why they chose locations, but yeah, Joel is saying he can't get Scribe to work this morning either, so I don't know. All right. Anyway, so we're going to go into detail. But first we'll do what Intuit wants us to do in this exercise. Okay? So what they want us to do is they want us to set up two new locations called private gardening and another called corporate services. Which, by the way, one of the free exercises about classes is, one of our exercises is setting up residential versus commercial. That's in the free exercises. There's also one of the issues of the gym it's the same thing, residential and commercial, which is basically what this is. But instead of calling it residential, they're calling it private gardening. And instead of commercial, they're calling it corporate services. So what the heck? I don't know. Okay, so we're going to set them up. We're going to set up the locations. And then we're going to create an invoice using one of the locations so you can see how it's done. Okay? All right, first we need to turn on location tracking. So we're going to click the gear icon, which a lot of the Intuit material now calls it the settings cog. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. But yeah, so maybe we're going to have to change all of our extras. It's not just me. It's like all of the trainers call it the gear icon. The gear icon. If it changes now to settings cog, I don't know. All right. Anyway, so we're going to click the gear icon. We're going to select account and settings. So let's just go that far. Okay, so here we are. Craig's Design and Landscaping, gear icon, and I'm sharing my screen, right? Yep. Okay, and select account and settings. Okay, and then, okay, so now we're doing that. We're going to go to the Advanced tab. Right here, the Advanced tab. Switch sections without saving. Gosh, I don't remember seeing that. We didn't make any changes, so I don't remember seeing that pop up before, but okay, so anyway, so here we are, click the Advanced tab, okay? And now what we're going to do is we're going to kind of open up this section called Categories. If you're brand new and you don't know this already, in the settings, all of the settings are kind of divided into these little sections, which you can see as I move my cursor. I'm kind of highlighting it. There's the tabs, of course, over here, but then inside. And in order to change these settings, you kind of have to open up the section and then you save the section, and then you save your whole settings, okay? They do have this little pencil icon, but you don't have to hit the pencil icon. You can just hit anywhere in there. All right, Jonathan says, mine has an error for Craig. You mean the sample company has an error? Or do you mean that there is an error in the exercise that we need to edit or correct? So here I am. So we have classes and we have locations. Okay. Now here's the difference between classes and, oh shoot, I keep doing that. I have this great mouse that I just love so much, but sometimes I forget that I forget its capabilities when I'm on there. All right, so Jonathan is saying he has an error in the sample company. So I'm sorry to hear that. You'll just have to exit out, come back in. We're not in charge of the sample company, and it can be quirky. That's like one of the things in one of my trainings I talk about, like how we just have to accept. Oh, it says Craig is using locations already and won't let us change. Well, interesting. We'll see what happens to me when I try it. All right, so there are some key differences between classes and locations. If I go to class, let me just turn this on so you can see what the choices are, okay? So if I go to classes, I can have it warn me when a transaction isn't assigned to a class. This, by the way, is off script from the actual exercise. I just want you guys to like know this, okay? So this is one of the things that the classes can do that locations can't, is you can warn you when a transaction isn't assigned a class, okay? So you can you're not forcing it, it's just giving you a warning, okay? You can't prevent it from not having a class, but if you want a warning, okay? The other thing is that you can assign classes to each row in a transaction. So for example, let's say Craig went and he bought some fertilizer, and in the expense, some of his fertilizer was for residential customers and some of the fertilizer was for commercial customers. You could split that up so you have a class for each row in the transaction, okay? Super helpful for, not very common for the income side of things, but super helpful for the expenses side of things. Now you can also, but this is less common, you can have it be the entire transaction. Again, if you want to really break out those expenses, then it's good to have that one to each row in a transaction. Okay, so I'm going to turn this off because this exercise today is not about classes. It's about locations. So I'm going to turn on locations. And here is one of the key differences with locations, okay? And that is that you can assign it a different label. I'm going to come back and show you how that all fits together in just a little bit, but the default is for it to just say location, which is what you would try and do. And in the case of, having two separate buildings, right, is you would have locations. But you can change this to have it be business, department, division, property. So if I were into it and I were writing this exercise about like private gardening and whatever they said, corporate services, and I really wanted to have locations reflect that, it would make more sense to me. And if I wanted to use locations, it would make more sense to me to call it like division, right? Call like you've got the private division and the corporate division, right? So you could potentially do that, okay? I'm not going to do that right now because it's not part of the exercise, but I'll change it later so you can see how it affects things, okay? So that's the one big thing for locations is you can change that label, okay? Again, I just need to remind you again, because you have to keep this in your brain. We're talking about Craig's locations. This has nothing to do with his customers, okay? This is Craig's locations. It gets super complicated when Craig has multiple locations and his customers have multiple locations. But, okay, just for right now, keep it in your brain what we're talking about, okay? All right, so I've saved that. I've got my locations on, and then I click done. All right, let's go back to the exercise. Okay, so we turned on locations, okay, then we clicked save, then we clicked done. Okay, so now we have to create the two new locations, the private gardening and the corporate services. Okay, so to do that, we're going to click the gear icon or the settings cog, and then we're going to select all lists. Okay, so we're going to go gear icon and then select all lists. Okay, now because I have, you can't see it because my head's in the way, because I have locations turned on, I have this option here that says locations. If I did not have it turned on in Accountant Settings, I would not see this here. Like this would not be there. In the same way that classes is not currently turned on, because remember I turned it back off. And so now classes are not listed here. Okay, so locations is now an option, and so now what we're going to do is we're going to add those locations. So right now I have no locations. This is a QBO Plus subscription level, and so we only have 40 that are allowed. If we want unlimited, I think it's unlimited, might be 250, but excuse me, then you would have to update to or upgrade to advanced. Okay, all right, so we're going to click new to create the new location, and I should go back to the exercise to make sure. All lists, locations, okay, click new. Okay, so now we're going to create first the private gardening. Private gardening. All right, and I want to point out that this list right here is the other thing that makes locations significantly different than classes, okay? With classes, you just have the name of the class. But with locations, you can actually specify other different things. Classes can have, I'm pretty sure can have subclasses. I'm doubting myself right now. But all this stuff, different title for sales forms, different company name when communicating with customers, different addresses where customers contact me or send payments, different email address when communicating with customers, different phone number where the customers phone me, okay? So this is the benefit of using locations, okay? Is that if you have a situation where your location has to have a different address, a different logo, all of that, then that's when you're going to use locations. You don't want to use classes, okay? This is the key. The label is great, but this is like the key thing. This is the key thing. Now, this is another reason why in this exercise, having them use locations for private gardening and what was it, corporate services, makes no sense. Okay, like why are we doing this? Because we're not taking advantage of like any of these things. It would make way more sense for it to be classes, but we're just doing the exercise. We're just doing the exercise that Intuit provides. Okay, all right. So private gardening, and then I'm going to click save. Private gardening, click save. Going to create the new one. New, I think we're calling it corporate services. Again, not using any of the other stuff. Name corporate services. We're just going to save. Okay, and there's the save button. All right, so now we have our list here. If I ever needed to go and change anything, I could click edit right there. And that's what our little thing there says. Okay, so now we're going to create an invoice using one of these locations. Okay, so we'll see how that affects things. Okay, so here I'm on my locations list. I'm just going to create an invoice. This is the old style invoice. We should take a look at the new invoice and see where locations are on that. I don't know that I've done that. Okay. Okay, so in the customer field, we're going to select Amy's Bird Sanctuary. Amy has some accumulated stuff over here, and we're going to ignore that. So I'm just going to click on this little arrow. Don't click this X, it'll close that whole invoice. You want to click this little arrow, and it just moves the drawer out of your way. Okay? All right, so Amy's Bird Sanctuary. Okay, so we've closed that. All right, so now we're going to put in that weekly gardening. Weekly gardening. Our scenario told us that it was $50. Okay, now is where we're going to say this is corporate services. And you can see we now have this location drop down, and this is where we select corporate services. Okay, now the location will be the most recent location that you've used. Okay, so this is super helpful if you have multiple if you have like staff that's doing all the bookkeeping for this location, other staff that's doing all the bookkeeping for this location, it's going to save that until you change it for new transactions. So, but it's if you're doing some and then the other and then whatever, then it'll be, you just always have to remember that you have to do that. Okay, so let's see, down arrow, then click Save and Close. Okay. So that's like the whole exercise. They don't even show us like how to run a report or anything. Let's see what happens if we click Run Report. So this is just the list. This is just looks like a journal entry for, yeah, it's like not even, because she has, I see. This is her list of transactions. Locations Quick Report. This is the list of her transactions because she had the saved stuff in there. So this is the one we just added. And then remember we ignored the stuff in the drawer. That's what this other one is. So that's a quick report. I'm not going to go into the other reports that you would see. I just want to do a couple of more things. So Beverly pointed out to change, or if in the, I think we're talking about the modern view. Oh, okay, Sherry, I'll talk about that because that should not happen. All right, so let's first I'm going to do modern view, then I'm going to change it from location to division, and we'll see. Okay, so we're going to change the layout. We're going to do the new layout. In case you don't know, Intuit is in the process of changing all of, that's lovely. That's exactly the same. They're in the process of changing all of their invoices to this new modern view style. And update layout. Maybe we can't do it today. The sample company's not behaving. Yeah, okay, well, the sample company's not behaving, so we're not going to be able to take a look at the modern view, which is fine because that's not on the exercise anyway. But the other thing that I wanted to point out is where it shows up if you change the label from location to say division. So Sherry Lynn said she's using division and it's not working for a client. So let's see. I'll show you what it should be. So I'm going to go back to advanced, switch sections without saving. I don't remember ever seeing that pop up. Anyway, okay, so I'm going to go here. Okay, so right now it says location. So remember on the invoice we just looked at, it said location in the drop down. And then if you run reports, it says run report by location. So I'm going to change this to division, and it should change every instance of where the term location is used. Sherry Lynn is saying it's not happening for one of her clients, but let's take a look. Let's see if there's a bug or something. Okay, so now I've changed it to division. Okay, I've changed it to division. Now the first thing is if we go to that all lists place. So I click the gear icon and I go to all lists. Yes, this is supposed to say, and it used to say this. Oh, my head's in the way. Oh, I can't scroll it any further, but let me move my head a little bit. There we go. So yeah, it says locate. That is supposed to say divisions, and it used to always say divisions. If it, like the fact that it now says, locations, that is a bug, because yes, it's supposed to say divisions right there. And the other thing is when you create an invoice, oh look, here's the new invoice style, guys. What the heck? So anyway, where is location located on this? So here is, if I wanted to add, let's add Amy. All her stuff came in. Here's the thing that came up. There's the drawer just like usual. This, oh here, look, it says division. Sherry Lynn, are you using the new modern view? Are you using the new modern invoice for this client? Because it does say division there. So, yeah, so that's interesting. Let me go back now that it did that refresher thing. Leave without saving. It still says locations here. This used to change to the word locations. Let's do one more thing and then we're going to wrap up. And that is, so profit and loss by location should not, oh, see, now it says profit and loss by division, but I was able to search for it with the name profit and loss by location. Did you see that? I type in location, look, profit and loss by location, but when I pull it up, it says profit and loss by division up here. Let me go, instead of using the search, let me find it, profit and loss by customer month, where is it? Oh, here, it still says location. I'm positive that it used to change that. So, so Michelle is asking, did I save? And I did. And you know that I did because it says division in the other places. So, yeah. Anyway, so that's very interesting. So we all need to use our little feedback buttons up at the top right here. Oh, that's not that. I thought that was where we were supposed to do feedback now. Oh my gosh, guys. Oh my gosh, I don't even know where to send feedback anymore. I guess here and then use this. But that's not specific to the page. Wow, maybe you can't send feedback anymore in the sample company. Look, I can't even click this. Here, let me refresh the page. There we go. Bank transactions. Okay. All right, well, anyway, so yeah, so there's a feedback button right there. Feedback is inside the expense or invoice. Plus new invoice. Oh, this This feedback is specifically, this is a different feedback. This specific feedback is for the new invoice style. That's a different feedback button. I mean, you could put it there too, but it does say division right there. So anyway, okay. Let's see. Any other questions? We talked about, like we were all talking about in the chat, we're all talking about locations and divisions and all of that. I think we're clicking back and forth is no fun. Yes. Oh, that's the other thing, is that I wanted to show you. Well, I did kind of. Like when I created a new invoice, the last location was automatically selected. One of the things that we do with the gym and with the exercise of the week is we provide marketing prompts, okay? Now, the reason that and by the way, if you're in the gym, make sure you check this little button. So make sure you check this little button to, that's how you get your points, okay? So you click here, then you click here. That's how you get your points in Booksmatch, okay? So you have to do that. You can't just use the link from the chat, okay? All right. So one of the things that we do that comes with the gym, again, this is not extra, this is just part of the gym, is we give you marketing prompts. And the reason that we give you marketing prompts is because I had so many people say, they're like, oh, I know that I need to post on social media, but I don't know what to say. I'm like, what? How could you not know what to say? There's like, you're constantly learning stuff all the time. So we decided now part of the gym, you earn marketing prompts, and with every exercise of the week, you also get a marketing prompt. Okay. So it is 12 o'clock. So if any of you need to hop over to Hector's call, and if you've heard me give this whole speech, this marketing prompt speech, then that's fine. But stick around if you need to learn how to use the marketing prompts. Okay, so we are not a marketing company. Okay, so we don't teach marketing. We teach QuickBooks Online. We teach you how to do it hands-on. Okay, but because so many people ask, we do now promote one very specific method for getting clients, and it involves these marketing prompts. And so I'm going to go through it with you now. Okay. All right. So it is called the 3-2-1 method. And this methodology was developed by a company called Bold House, and we use it with their permission. We have updated it for our purposes as bookkeepers, QuickBooks Online Pro advisors, but I do always want to acknowledge that it came from them. Okay, so here's how you use the 3-2-1 method to market your business. Okay, number one, not number one actually, is number 3. Why did that happen? Let me try this again. What the heck, man? All right, I don't know what's happening with my screen, but here we go. All right, so 3 times per day, you are going to directly reach out to people in your network, like people that you know, and you're going to do this by email, text, DM, phone call. Okay, this is directly reaching out to 3 individuals that you know. This is not sending a blast to everyone that you know on your email. This is not posting a flyer in the Chamber of Commerce. This is individual people. Okay, so you're talking to individual people 3 times a day. And what are you going to say? Oh my gosh, guys, if you've heard me give this speech before, you are not selling your services to these people. These are probably not going to be your clients. You just want to let them know that you are a QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor, okay? If you're not a QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor, by the way, become a QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor. Do it. Like, we can help you do it in a weekend, okay? Joel will put that link. If you want the fast and easy course, you can. If you don't want the fast and easy course, you can do it for free in Intuit. Whatever you do, become a fast and easy QBO or become a QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor. You get a badge, you get a certificate. You get something to brag about. And as soon as you get it, you can start telling people, oh, guess what? I'm a QuickBooks Online. Yay, I just got this certificate, and you start telling people, okay? So then you're going to reach out to 3 times per day, reach out to individuals that you know, and you're going to ask them, who do you know that I could connect with? Okay? You're not saying, who do you know that I could sell my services to? Or like, how can I get a job? Or like nothing. You're just saying, who do you know that I could connect with? The entire purpose of this step is for you to widen your network, okay? Chances are slim that the people in your existing network are going to fill your pipeline, going to be your clients, and you're going to be, hunky-dory. You have to be introduced to new people, okay? And the way to do that with a high trust factor is to be introduced by somebody that you know, okay? So who do you know that I could connect with? Basically, you're looking for a small business owner that uses QuickBooks Online. That's it, okay? So of that activity, you're now talking to 3 people every day for a week. Now you're going to have 15 people that you have talked to. Some of those people that you talk to are going to say, nobody, I don't know anybody, but I'll keep you in mind. And don't worry about that, because tomorrow at the grocery store, they'll run into Sally and they'll say, Sally, what are you doing? Oh, I just started my own business. And you'll say, oh, we're using QuickBooks Online. I just happened to talk to my friend Joe, who just became a QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor. I could connect the 2 of you. That's how it happens, okay? So don't worry if they say they don't know anybody. You've planted the seed, okay? Others will be like, oh yeah, I know so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so. Like I told this story just a couple of weeks ago at the gym. As I was leaving, the receptionist said to me, so what do you do? And I said, oh, I teach QuickBooks Online. And she says, oh, I know 2 people off the top of my head I can introduce you to. Like I didn't even say any, that's all I have to do. That's all I have to do. Like I know somebody who got their very, very first client by going to a speed networking event. The day after she got her pro advisor, she didn't have a bookkeeping business at all. She just was barely starting out, and she went to this speed networking event and she didn't know how to introduce herself. And all she said was, I'm a QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor. And she got her very first client from that. So just telling people that, like, first of all, get that cert. So you have that you can say about yourself, and then start telling people that you have it, right? Like that's what it all is about. Okay. So of these 15 people, some of them are going to say nobody. Some of them are going to say, oh, I know a bunch, whatever. But hopefully out of all of that activity, the goal is that 2 times per week, you have connected with potential clients, okay? This doesn't mean that you're, again, please, guys, do not vomit all over these people and say, hey, do you need a bookkeeper? Oh, yeah, you should totally be doing a bookkeeping. Oh, yeah, you should hire me as a bookkeeper. No. All you're doing is connecting with these people. And the way you're going to do it is you're just going to say, oh, yeah, I'm a QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor. Would love to stay connected in case you need any help. That's it. Just so that they know in the future that that's what you do. But you can't just then, walk away, because they're never going to remember you, right? Maybe a month from now, they're going to have a crisis and they're like, who was that person? And they don't know. They don't remember your name. You didn't give them a business card, or if you did, they lost it. No, you have to stay connected to that person. And that's what's so beautiful about social media, is that people, it just allows us to stay connected to people. Okay. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to connect with them on LinkedIn. It could be some other social media platform, like if in your area, whatever, but business happens on LinkedIn. Okay. So mostly it's LinkedIn. You're going to connect with them on LinkedIn. When you do that, you want to make sure that your byline says that you are a QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor. Okay, don't say QBO because nobody knows what that is. Say QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor in your byline, which is that little line on LinkedIn. And the beautiful thing about that is that every time you do anything on LinkedIn, it doesn't just say your name, it also says your byline. Okay, so if you have that, then you're every time you do something, it is reminding people that that's what you do. So what are you going to do? Well, a couple of times a week, you're going to post a little tip about QuickBooks Online. I mean, you're a QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor, right? So post a tip about QuickBooks Online. And if you don't know what to say, that's why we have the marketing prompts. So they're in the gym. You get them every week here on the exercise of the week. And you can post them just as is. But it's more effective if you like plug them into, say, a lot of people use Canva to make it pretty and kind of make it branded to you, right? Include your scheduling link if you have that set up on Calendly, for example. And so they know, they see this pretty thing. I have one student who plugs it into ChatGPT and creates like a whole article, whatever. The point is that you are just posting it regularly so that people see you, that you are just constantly reminding people in an unobtrusive way what you do. Okay? That's like, guys, that is that is 95% of the battle. Is just telling people what you do. That's all it is. Okay? So the other thing, in addition to posting your own stuff, is that you are going to like and comment on other people's stuff, okay? And by other people, I don't mean other bookkeepers and accountants. Like, we see that all the time. I'm in a different world than you guys are, so like I am trying to attract accountants and bookkeepers. You're not. Whatever your niche is or whatever you're trying, like you're commenting and liking on small business owner stuff, okay? Like, or if it's your niche, like somebody's posting about construction or somebody's posting about food trucks or like whatever it is, then you're going to comment on that. And again, oh my gosh, I am begging you, do not vomit all over them with your services, okay? That is such a turnoff. When you are liking and commenting, or basically when you're commenting on other people's stuff, I want you to be a normal, natural human being, okay? So if they are posting a picture of their kid at a baseball game, you don't comment, "Hi, don't forget I'm a great bookkeeper and you should hire me." No, you're commenting, "Cute kid, great stance, I hope he got a home run." Like whatever, like a normal, natural human being is. You're creating a connection with this person. You're wanting them to know you. Like the whole idea, the whole purpose is for you to basically, like wave your flag. You just want to be waving your flag all the time. Don't forget, I'm a QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor. I'm a QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor. I'm a QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor. Okay? So that people can reach out to you. You ultimately just want them to know, like, and trust you. When people sign up for a bookkeeper, they are handing over their baby. Okay? They're not going to do that to somebody that they don't know, like, and trust. Okay, so you're connecting with people, you're developing relationships, you're developing that level of trust so that they can reach out to you. Okay, so now once you have done that, okay, so now you're going to spend your week posting, you've 3 times a day, you have reached out to specific people. The goal is 2 times per week to connect to potential clients. The idea is you are growing your network, and you're waving your flag. Oh yeah, this is what I do. Developing that know, like, and trust. And then the goal after that is, at a minimum, once per month, you want to be able to do a diagnostic review. Okay? Now, a diagnostic review is taking a look at somebody's books. We teach you how to do that in the cleanup course. Because all bookkeeping engagements start with a cleanup, and we look at their books, we do a diagnostic review, we tell them what they are, we tell them what they are, we see in their books, where the problems are, and all of that. We, oh, this is how much it would cost to clean up. Like we teach you that in the cleanup course, and Joel will, I can't see the chat right now, but Joel will put that in. You guys probably know, if you're in our world at all, that we're having a huge summer sale on the cleanup course, and today is the last day. So if you're watching the recording of this on YouTube, it's over. It's over. Okay. If you're live with me right now, excuse me, if you're live with me right now, then you would have to be under a rock to know that we have this sale going on, and it's over today at midnight. So it's a short amount of time that you can grab that. Anyway, and Joel put that hopefully in the chat. Okay, so we teach you how to do a diagnostic review, but if, I don't know, a lot of you are in other people's programs, there's tons of other resources. Other people teach diagnostic reviews, there's YouTube videos, there's all sorts of resources out there for you to learn how to do a diagnostic review or a free consultation or, whatever, okay? All right, but here's how you're going to land that. Now, if you have been doing all of this activity in the first two steps, then there's a good chance that somebody will reach out to you first. Okay, so if they reach out to you first, great. You say, okay, great. Well, the next step is for me to do a diagnostic review. Let me get some basic information from you, and then, we'll get back. Okay, so there's a good chance that people are going to reach out to you first. Okay, but if they don't, and you want to be more proactive, then you can reach out to people simply by saying, hey, this is not like the first moment you met somebody. Please don't do this, guys. I'm begging you. Don't reach out the first moment you meet somebody and say, hey, would you like me to take a look at your books? No, you develop the relationship first. And then once you feel like they know who you are, you just say, hey, you can reach out to them and say, hey, I'm a QuickBooks Online Pro advisor. Would you like me to take a look at your books and see how you're doing? Okay? There's no stress in that. There's no, maybe they'll ignore you. Maybe they'll say, no, not now, but thank you. I'll keep that in mind in the future. Or maybe they'll say, actually, yeah, that would be amazing. What's the next step? Okay? So you can land that. If you're in the cleanup course, another thing you can say is, hey, I just finished a course on diagnostic reviews and I'm looking for some practice. Would you, be willing to do that? I'll just take a look at your books and I'll, create a little report for you. It's no big, people make it out to be such a bigger deal than it has to be. Okay. All right. So that's my speech on 3, 2, 1. Let me hop back in and see if there were any questions. I don't know if you guys are still with me. Some of you may have hopped over to Hector's thing. Okay, let's see. Dorata says, I like to be introduced. I don't want to feel salesy to people that I like to be introduced. I don't want to feel salesy to people that know me. No, yeah, exactly. You don't want to feel salesy to anybody, whether they know you or not. Salesy is just such a turnoff. Oh my gosh, I cannot tell you how many, I get these LinkedIn requests and, they want me to do whatever. I'm like, I don't know you. I don't trust you. Why would you become my new executive coach? Or whatever thing that these people are trying to sell to me, I had, what was that ad that I got recently? Oh my gosh, it was hilarious. It was, somebody reached out to me on LinkedIn and said, we can help you, sell your knowledge, sell your content, or something like that. And I was like, clearly you don't know who I am or what I do, because I kind of got that covered. I'm pretty good at selling my knowledge and my content. Thank you very much. Okay, let's see. Oh, what else in the chat here? Let's see, we got the link to Hector's thing. Let's see, going back to the exercise real quick. Oh, I keep forgetting. Hold on, there we go. Kelly says, I use classes for a client that has different retail businesses on one QBO account so client can see the profitability of each business. Excellent. He also uses the one bank account and credit card for all his businesses, so payments have to be broken out by class, and some have multiple classes. That's great. That is a great use case. My client is happy with the setup and how he can quickly see the info he needs. Yes, see, exactly. Kelly, I'm so glad. So so I mentioned in the beginning that that this is an advanced topic, okay? And some of you watching this are not advanced yet, and that's fine, okay? So maybe we went through this today and maybe you're like, whoa, I'm still figuring out how to, I'm still figuring out the difference between categories and items. Like, I don't know, like, this is beyond me, okay? And that's fine. That what I always want to do, I just realized, guys, I forgot to change into my live stream shirt. Oh my gosh, I've been wearing the wrong shirt this whole time. Oh my gosh, guys. Anyway. All right, so what I was saying is that it's important to know the capabilities of the software, whether it's QuickBooks Online or like whatever software you're using. It's important to know the capabilities of the software, even if you don't know how to use those capabilities, okay? Because what will happen is you'll do a diagnostic review, you'll talk to a business owner, and you'll say, oh, you know what? I know that QBO has a feature that would be really useful to you. Let me do some more research on that and I'll get back to you. And you like start the conversation, this is one of the things people always ask me. One of the most common questions that people ask me is they've gotten their basic certification and they want to know, should I get my advanced certification? And, or should I do it right away or should I wait? Okay. And there's people on both sides, some people, and even Intuit will say, no, you need to just be basic for a while before you do advanced. Okay. And there are some people like that's their camp. Okay. And that's fine. I respect everybody's opinion. Okay. My own personal situation was that I wanted to be the best of the best. So I got my basic certification and immediately got my advanced certification before I even had a client. Some of you know this, I was daily money manager first. So I had daily money management clients, but before I had like an actual business bookkeeping client. And that very first client, when I did the initial interview with her and she told me like about her business, I realized that she needed a feature that I had only learned about in advance because I had taken the advanced. And I was so grateful because if I had just done basic and I had met her, I wouldn't have known that this feature was even available or like was a thing. So that's why for me personally, I'm like, just get the advanced, knock it out. Even if you don't apply it, it's so helpful to just know, oh yeah, that's a thing. And then you can come back and actually apply it. Okay, let me see. What other questions we have? Let's see. We got the link to Hector's thing. We got the link to the special. It ends today for cleanup. Okay. Dorada says, I got the cleanup special, but I had no budget for the advanced. Do you guys have specials for that? I have basic and cleanup. Okay, so this is an important question. We recommend that you be advanced certified before attempting cleanup, okay? You don't have to, like, we're not going to kick you out, okay? But we do recommend that you have experience with QBO, and a really good way to do that is to get advanced certified. And there are topics, like there's things that you need to know, like locations, which is what we've been talking about today. Like that's an advanced topic. If you hadn't gone through advanced or hadn't been in this live stream, maybe you wouldn't even know it was a thing. But in cleanup, that's sometimes a thing that you have to do. I would say classes are probably more common than locations, but still, like, it's a thing. Who was it just earlier? Who did I just put up on the screen? Kelly was talking about has a client, different retail businesses, and needs to see profitability of each business. Like this is like a real thing that you could get into cleanup. You could get into a mess, and they could not realize that they need this feature, that it would be helpful. Maybe they're using it wrong. Like that's a thing we cover in advanced. So that's why we recommend that you be advanced certified before attempting cleanup. Now, because of that, when you purchase cleanup, we give you an opportunity to purchase advanced at a very low price if you purchase them at the same time, okay? If you got the cleanup special but did not add it, we can still add. You can contact support at fastandeasyqbo.com, and we can add it to your account. You said you don't have the budget. If you don't have the budget, then you'll have to wait for a special. But yeah. Okay. Julie is saying, just bought the cleanup course yesterday, but couldn't access in Booksmatch. It's locked. Okay, I'm sorry to hear that. Reach out to support at fastandeasyqbo.com, and we will take a look at what is happening with your account. Okay. Okay, Karen says, I did the QuickBooks Pro Advisor, but honestly, I'm lost. I was granted access to a realtor's books, but I don't know what to do. I feel like I have analysis paralysis. Any advice? So, Karen, this is what we teach in the cleanup course. Okay, so you have a follow-up question that says, I started the cleanup course and the advanced one too. Okay, so here we go. The module 1 of the cleanup course is going to tell you about how to do a diagnostic review. So that's the very first thing that you're going to do in that realtor's books. Now, you didn't say that you got the client, you just were granted access, okay? So that's the cleanup course is going to guide you through all of that. It's going to teach you how to look at the books, what you're looking for, how much you're going to charge for that. There's how to do the proposal so that you can land the job. Corey lands 9 out of 10 proposals that she sends. It's probably higher than that, but I mean, we say 9 out, I don't want to say 99 out of 100 because that's, I don't know, that's a large number. It's she closes almost every single proposal. And that's because of the way that she does it. And that's what we teach you, is we teach you her magic sauce for how to land the client. Okay. If you don't know how to actually, as far real estate, maybe they need location. So that's going to be advanced. So you need to make sure you go through the advanced course. The real thing that teaches you how to do bookkeeping day to day is the QBO Gym. That's why we have the QBO Gym, is that you can practice being a bookkeeper before you are a bookkeeper. That's the whole purpose of the gym, is practice being a bookkeeper before you're a bookkeeper. You're going to go through a whole year. You're going to see, what do you do when you very first sit down to work on a client? You're going to work on them all month. How do you actually do a bank reconciliation? What if there's problems? So that's, yeah. Okay. So Conchita says, I didn't think you could do the cleanup course until you take the advanced course and the payroll certification. So that's what we recommend. We recommend that you do advanced and payroll before doing the cleanup. but we don't stop you. We don't, close the gate and say, whoa, stop. You have to have, your advanced certification. That's on you, but that's what we recommend. Okay. Patty says, still having problems signing into my QuickBooks account and being taken to the sample company instead. So make sure that you log out of the sample company. So to do that, you click on your little initials in the upper right-hand corner and select, sign out or log out or whatever it is. So make sure that you do that and don't just close the window. If you just close the window, then it could still think that you're logged in. If you continue to have problems after that, then do it in an incognito window. If you continue to have problems after that, reach out to Intuit support. Okay. All right. My brand shirt. This is not okay. So the shirt, usually I wear the sparkly shirt for the live streams, because that is this season's shirt. And the reason that I do that, I actually got this idea from Jen, who records all of the exercise videos, because it's easier if you can just look at all of our list of YouTube videos. You can see what season it is if I'm always wearing the same shirt. So that's why I do that. But this one is going to be, I don't know, maybe I'll have my guy make a different thumbnail. I don't know. Uyi says, I did notice you're wearing a different shirt, but I didn't want to mention it. Yeah, that would have been funny if I'd be like, oops, sorry guys, and I walk out in the corner and change my shirt. That would have been funny. Okay, tell me about the discount of the cleanup course. It is $800 off right now until midnight, and Joel has put the link in there a couple times, but yeah, you can do it again. This Beos is asking. So the link is there. All the details. It's $800 off just for today's the last day. It's been running for 10 days since the end of July, since July 30th, I guess. And so yeah. It's a huge discount. So the course is under $1,000. It's like $997 or something like that. And that's the lowest it's ever going to, it's never going to be that low again. And the reason is because the course keeps getting more valuable. We keep adding stuff to it. It becomes more valuable. And so that's why the price is going up. So after today, the price is going to go up to, it's almost $2,000. So, okay. Teresa says, I purchased all the courses at the beginning of the year, knowing I couldn't start right then, which is fine. I'm just now able to get started. Just curious, is there a discount for the gym membership for those who have purchased everything? Excellent question. Once you get certified, so go through the basic course, and once you get certified, you will, make sure you report. There's a little thing that says report your results, because we're not into it. We don't administer the test. So it says report your results. And then if you passed, then it gives you a list of next steps. And one of those steps is if you want to purchase other things, but there's a discount code in there, and that discount code is applicable to the gym. So you can use that. Okay. Let's see. Payment options for the cleanup is we support Klarna and Afterpay. So those two, they're third-party payment plan processor things, and they're available on the website. So you can use either of those to if you need help purchasing the cleanup. Okay, Betty says, I'm confused about the locker room. Is that the subscription only? If so, why was I invited to the Facebook gym locker room? Okay, so I explained this in the beginning, but that's okay. I will explain it again. So the locker room is the free Facebook group. Okay, so you are invited to join the anybody can be part of the locker room. It looks like this. Okay, welcome to the QBO Gym locker room. If you are watching this live stream live, which you are, Betty, then that means you're already in the locker room. And being a part of the locker room, you get all this free stuff. So you get a free getting started course, you get over 100 free exercises, you get this the free exercise of the week that we went over, and you get to participate live on our live stream, ask questions, and participate all for free just by being a part of the locker room. But we also have a paid course, which is the QBO Gym. Okay, so the Facebook group is the locker room. The gym is the paid subscription, and the paid subscription, whoa, that's gigantic, is it is a course that allows you to practice being a bookkeeper before you can be a bookkeeper. So it is what we say on-the-job experience without having a job, or as Joel likes to say it's like a flight simulator for being a bookkeeper. You get to be a bookkeeper for an entire year for a fictitious business owner. You walk in, you do the things that you would normally do, you process payments, you send invoices, and all the way through reconciling reports or reconciling accounts and doing reports. Every month there is a specific focus. Something is always happening in Craig's business, just like in a normal business. Something's always happening, and because of that, you have to learn different skills. Okay, so in the first month, you learn about estimates and purchase orders because he had somebody that needed an estimate. And then every month there's like a different focus that we call the strength training. But that's paid. Joel will put that in the link. We also have a free gym challenge. So if you're not ready for the full gym and you want to just try it out, you can try it out for 5 days. You actually have 10 days of access, but it's a 5-day challenge. So you do an entire month of bookkeeping in 5 days, and that's absolutely free. And Joel can put that link in also. Okay. Trish is asking me about Surfshark. I don't know anything about Surfshark. Never heard of it. Okay, Beos is asking about the QBO Gym. So once I get to the bottom, hopefully Joel will have put both the gym and the gym challenge. So the gym challenge is the free, just 5-day access to it, so you can check it out. Let's see, Joel put in the link to the special. 2 says, I love this. I have to put it up. $800 off is huge. I stalked the cleanup course for a long time, and you bet I jumped on it. Awesome. Okay. Let's see. Bella says, I have to say, the cleanup project is a huge help. I started working at a CPA firm and definitely thankful for the program because I can see the errors of the previous bookkeeper. Thank you. Thankful for this program. Yay! That is awesome. Thank you for saying that. So yeah, one thing about the cleanup course is that we have a final project where you are actually, so we teach you how to do a cleanup, and we have, because we're all focused on hands-on exercises. That's what Fast and Easy QBO is all about, is doing. And so Corey, who is our course creator, and she teaches it. So she teaches the information, and then you have a hands-on exercise to practice in the sample company. And she does that all the way along. And then at the end, you have a final project, which is a set of messy books that you then have to clean up. And you learn how to do a diagnostic review on them, and you can practice presenting your proposal. And then you can actually clean it up, and then you can practice doing your final handoff to the client. So yeah, so it's all what we are. It's all what we do here, guys, is hands-on. Okay. Alrighty, so Bayu says, I've never heard of the QBO Gym. Well, you have now. Okay, let's say, it's Betty. Okay, it's fine. Okay. Billy says, can we do an exercise of the week for the receipt function in QBO? I think that we might have, there is definitely in the, for sure it is in the gym. There is, I'm sure of it. Am I sure? No. There's a similar thing. Okay. So for those of you who don't know about the receipt function that Billy's talking about here, the QBO has the ability to scan receipts and automatically turn them into expenses or bills. Okay. And we are limited in the sample company with the number of things that we can do. There are certain like uploading things that we can't do, we can't add to. But there is an issue of the gym. I think that it is December of the gym, where the entire issue of the gym is focused on QuickBooks Online advanced features. I don't mean advanced features, I mean the subscription level called advanced. Okay, so there's a subscription level called advanced, and that has a lot of extra features that most people don't have. And so we have an entire issue of the gym that's focused to those features. And one of those features in QBO Advanced is it's called expense reimbursement. Okay, so expense reimbursement allows employees to submit. No, it's not called reimbursement because not all of them are reimbursed. But it allows the employees to submit receipts to the company. And we absolutely have an exercise on that, Billy. I'm pretty sure that it's in December when we go over advanced features. Actually, let me just pull it up real quick because I have this open. Yeah, December is when we go over QBO Advanced, and I'm positive that there is an exercise that does that feature. Now, the reason I bring that up is because that is actually the only way to get a receipt into the sample company. So that exercise is very, very similar to what you're talking about. It's not going to be exact. I don't think that we can. I'm pretty sure I've tried it before. I don't think that we can get receipts into the sample company, but I keep that in mind. Okay, let's see. So Maura says, my receipt capture feature has never worked on my phone. Yeah. Yeah. That whole feature is, it's not, I don't know how well it's used, how much it's used. I know one of my team members frequently uses like there's a similar process to like import bills, and it's supposed to like grab all this. It uses OCR. It's supposed to like grab the who the payee is and what the amount is and whatever, but honestly it does not work well. It doesn't work well. So I'm kind of not sad that I can't do very much with it, but anyway. All right, where can I find exercise for onboarding? So there's two things for onboarding. Now, really for onboarding, that's in the cleanup course, because the cleanup course is really it's more designed to it talks about, because that's part, so because cleanup is like part of, like you land the job and then you get started and you have to do it. Okay, so that's covered in the cleanup course. But there is a free exercise that uses, so QBO has this internal task list feature, and we do have a free exercise that goes over that, and that is I'm pretty sure. So QBO has this task list feature where you can assign yourself tasks, and it can be onboarding, and so I think, let me just pull this up real quick. Here we go. I'm pretty sure that is in the, I thought it was in the basic course, in the, yeah, creating a work project. It's called a work project. All right, so this one is not actually onboarding a client, but there is a template there for onboarding a client. This is actually for like your own stuff. But if you go to, here, I'll share my screen so you can see where it is. Okay, if you click the link to get to the 100 free hands-on exercises, and you scroll down to 5.7 here, creating a work project. This teaches you how to create that kind of task list that I was talking about. So if you go, it's called a project, and then you have all these tasks. So you can see here, so you have tasks and due dates and all that stuff. So it does teach you how to use that. Okay. Alrighty. And Maura says, I purchased an Epsid rapid receipt scanner. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. My receipts, I just take a picture of them. I don't actually, yeah. And the bills, I just save and then upload them when I do the uploading thing. So I know there's a way that you can email them to QBO, but I don't know. I don't ever trust that. So anyway, all right. I think we have come to the end of the chat. I don't know how many of you stuck on, if any of you guys hopped over to Hector's thing. But I am excited. If you guys are going to be at Reframe in October, I am going to be there, and I'm super excited about it. I love, like most people, I love everything Hector does, and partnering with Carlos and the guy Phil something, I can't remember. Teaching you exactly what to say, like how to phrase things and how to make it easier to have a conversation with people. That's really what Hector's kind of moving his business to, is all about having conversations. That's why he's calling it Reframe. So anyway, it looks like I have figured out everything I've addressed everything from the chat. So I think I'm going to let you guys go and have a wonderful weekend. It was great hanging out with you. I will see you Monday for Mindset Monday. Until then, I can't wait to hear your success story.